Mr. Investor, welcome back to the channel. You won't want to miss this video. The video will be about a professional's opinion on bio-nanogenomics, a CPT code in 2024, laboratories, scaling up, and some numbers. So please stick around to the end of the video. I hope you find this as valuable as I did. Please also remember none of this is financial advice, it's for entertainment only. I'm still holding 5,400 shares of bio-nanogenomics after the reverse split. I had 54,000 before. I have not bought a share, I have not sold a share, I've just been holding. So last year I decided to try and connect and speak to people who are utilizing the Sapphire system. I wanted to speak to professionals in the field, people who were at the top of their game. Across Dr. Adam Smith, who was talking about how much flow cells they were using for bio-nanogenomics, and they were talking about an award in 2023 that they got to support the development of optical genome mapping for use in myeloma. So him and his colleagues got $2 million of grants, and then actually this guy decided, to move from Canada, and he moved to America. So he did believe that in a few years they'd be running 2,000 to 2,500 genomes. And now he sent me this email in January. Before we get into this email that I found incredibly helpful, insightful, and valuable, please hit the like button, drop me some comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and tell me your thoughts and feelings about your position in bio-nanogenomics. This year, on January the 2nd, I received an email after asking some more questions about, using optical genome mapping and what he thinks is going to happen. And this is not financial advice, this is just his opinion. I spoke about a CPT code and I spoke about PLA codes, and I asked, what is the difference and which one would be more beneficial to bio-nanogenomics. And he stated that a CPT code is a universal insurance code in the US. PLA codes are lab-specific insurance reimbursement codes. So PLA codes represent additional work for each lab, whereas a CPT code will allow wide-scale adoption. So we are all hoping for a CPT code in 2024. This is for optical genome mapping. There are labs with PLA codes, and some health providers are already covering optical genome mapping. PLA codes could be with Praxis Genomics, for example. Since optical genome mapping will likely reduce costs for insurers, it will reduce multiple assays, e.g. Cario, FISH, and MLPA. I think once this is figured out, adoption will be strong. Now here we go. There are several factory scale labs in the US. LabCorp, I'm not from the US by the way, I'm here in London. I'm in the UK. So he's saying that LabCorp, Neogenomics, ARUP, and Quest. These labs will easily have more than 5,000 plus samples per year, likely more than 100,000 genomes per year for these 4 labs alone as adoption increases. If we look at it and say it costs about $450 to run a genome, at 100,000 genomes for these 4 labs, we're talking about 45 mil. And although bio-nanogenomics is now burning, I think, similar to 30 to 40 mil per quarter, it could actually increase still. And although it won't be a savior, if they're able to see, the use in it and they start to scale up and utilize optical genome mapping, this could be a lot more in terms of a figure, I'm guessing. But the adoption could be widespread around the world. So these are quite big, these laboratories, they're huge. And let's just take a look at them, for example. Europe has 65 laboratories, Arup Laboratories, 4,000 employees. Wondered why they kind of targeted Salt Lake City and Lineagen and that. Maybe it's because they wanted to get to these guys. Facilities, the 220,000 square foot facility, their new laboratory anyway. It's one of 8 buildings owned by the company in University of Utah Research Park. They must own a lot more buildings because now it's 65 laboratories, as you can see here. I want to show you something interesting about Quest Diagnostics. So this is a huge company, 50,000 employees, 2023 revenues of approximately 9.25 billion, so almost 10 billion. Each year, they said that it touches the lives of 1/3 of American adults each year. It serves approximately half of the physicians and hospitals in the US, access to approximately 90% of US insured lives, approximately 2,000 patient locations, and dozens of clinical laboratories throughout the US. So we just have this guy stating, his opinion that some of these companies, these big, large-scale labs could be, potentially could be scaling up, especially if the CPT code comes in. They could be scaling up to use optical genome mapping. But has any of these companies used, the Sapphire system before? Well, if you take a look at Quest Diagnostics, does this presentation look familiar to you? It's on bio-nanogenomics website. This guy's name is Sarab Gupta. So it's from January the 11th, 2022, and he was utilizing optical genome mapping here. How do you know he's from Quest? You can see here, Quest Diagnostics. So he was presenting his findings with optical genome mapping Sapphire system. Exactly, is this guy, or was this guy, is he still with Quest? You take a quick LinkedIn search, you type in Saurabh Gupta, look at his face, this is the same man. He is the Chief Director, Quest Diagnostics, the Chair, BPT Cytogenetics and Genomics at Quest Diagnostics. If we take a look here, it states that he's been the Chief Director since 2018, so 5 years and 8 months. Before that, he was at MedFusion. Just compare the pictures. Saurabh Gupta, look at his face here next to me. That's the same dude. We're using a Sapphire system, but if they're going to use it at scale, we've got, you know, the next system coming out, which is called the Stratus. 18 hours ago, Bionanogenomics was sending out this email to everybody who, you know, subscribes to their email listing. They were saying, come and learn, connect and network with Bionano at ACMG. So this is going to be in Toronto, Canada, and they're going to be revealing their exclusive first look at the future of OGM, the Stratus system. So, you know, they've always got these funky catchphrases. This one is ascends to the stratosphere. For one of these companies, let's take a look. It's Neogenomics. So Neogenomics has between 1,000 to 5,000 employees. It's based in Fort Myers, Florida, specializing in cancer genetics testing and information services, providing one of the most comprehensive oncology-focused testing menus in the world for physicians to help them diagnose and treat cancer. Finally, I want to show you, this is from a presentation. So my face will be cut off. You'll just see a presentation here. And this is for the company called LabCorp, which was another one of the companies you can see here, several factory scale labs in the US that Adam Smith was talking about that could be scaling up to use optical genome mapping. So we're into the presentation. You can see here, this was their 2023 Investor Day presentation. If I go to the top, you will see Investor Day presentation 2023, September 14th, LabCorp. If we take a look, LabCorp is the largest laboratory service provider in the world. They're leaders in science, technology, and innovation. If we take a look at how many, let's take a look at the scale of how big they are. So LabCorp, their mission is to improve lives and improve health. 6,500 plus unique tests available. They do 600 mil plus tests performed annually in 100 plus countries around the world where they support patients. 45 billion plus lab results in proprietary data sets. 100% of large pharma partner with LabCorp, 600 plus scientific publications annually. When I went to their website though, I couldn't find anything to do with optical genome mapping, so there's no connection there for me until I can actually see it. Now finally, there's loads of different websites which talk about optical genome mapping and the kind of total addressable market. They state that specifically the optical genome mapping market over on PRN Newswire. This insight is conducted by Coherent Market Insights, and they state that they believe that by 2030, optical genome mapping market is going to reach $418.4 million US. Bionanogenomics believes that their total addressable market is a lot more. It's in the billions. In terms of CPT codes, nobody is certain until it drops, until we either get, you know, FDA approval or a CPT code to come through, and we start to see large scale adoption in terms of revenues, because we really want to see these numbers. You know, nothing really says anything apart from sales and numbers. When we see the figures, when we see the, you know, the revenue, the cash, that cash moolah, that's when we can, you know, officially be like, okay, they're in a better position. Now, at the moment, it's like hopium. All of these kinds of opinions, although they're very professional, these people, and they're careful about what they say, and they state only what they believe. They don't state, you know, financial advice. They don't state that this is for sure and for certain. They just believe. They believe that this, you know, US factory scale labs could be scaling up to use optical genome mapping. You know, until it's set in stone, that's when, you know, I'll believe it. I'll believe it when I'm like, damn, you know, the revenues have just hit. It's exploding through the roof. Until then, I haven't bought any more shares. I haven't averaged down. I'm just continuing to watch, because I think they had something like 77 mil or something like that in the last 2 quarters cash left. So that was their cash runway. They can continue to reverse split and continue to dilute us if they file for that. And how long will it take for them to get this CPT code through and get wide scale adoption and return money to investors? You know, until that time happens, at the moment, I'm just literally hopeful. I'm just waiting. I'm not going to exit my position. I put so much into this. It's crazy. It's like I made all the money from oil, and then I took all of the money, all of the profit, and I went all in on Bionanogenomics. I was up like 10% for a little while. And since then, it's gone down about 90% or 92%, something crazy like that. But I can see the use of the technology. This is the only reason why I'm holding on. I think the management of the finances, you know, the way that they've run the company and blasted through the cash runway has been ridiculous. They should have, you know, taken a better approach to it, because they had so much capital there and still they're in a similar position where the revenues haven't hit yet. And I know these things take time. You know, it takes time for all these studies to come through, for professionals to experiment with the machine, start to utilize it. And once their professional opinion gets in place and there's people who are their opinions, key opinions and key leaders who start to put through their knowledge and bring it into the workplace and how can I word it, influence the laboratories and the businesses and the places which will start to adopt optical genome mapping. That takes time, and I understand it, and it's a really long process, and I never understood it before, but now I realize that, yeah, it takes a long time. But my question is, will bionanogenomics be able to weather the storm? Will they be able to survive during that long time? And when that long time passes and they get this wide scale adoption, will there be shareholder returns? That is like key for us as investors. If you found this video useful, please hit the thumbs up. You know, it's completely free, but it helps out my channel. It really helps us to reach more people to see this video. And if you are feeling generous and you appreciate how much effort I go to in order to contact people, in order to try and get information and make these videos, there's a PayPal link in my description box below. I really appreciate any tips, any donations that helped me run this YouTube channel. Thank you for all the love and the support over the years. I want to thank you very much for always supporting the channel and dropping me all these lovely, nice comments. I see them all. And I wish you a wonderful day. Please remember, none of this is financial advice. It's for entertainment only. And yeah, have a wonderful day. I'll catch you in the next video. Oh, and if you have any more information or anything you'd like me to look into, literally just send me over a message, drop me a comment, and I'll take a look for you. Thank you very much. Mr. Invest a Lot, over and out, baby.